Okay, so you're here for a deep dive, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're digging into one specific word, adversary.
Right, but we're going beyond just, a dictionary definition. The sources you sent over point to something really fascinating.
Which is?
It's about the origin of adversary. We trace it back, and we find this core idea about, well, movement, about turning, actually.
Turning.
Yeah, and understanding that helps unlock not just adversary, but a whole bunch of other English words, too. It's kind of a cool way to boost your vocabulary understanding.
Love that. So our mission then is not just what adversary means, but why it means that. We're following the breadcrumbs back to its roots.
Exactly. Linguistic archaeology, sort of.
So where does this trail begin?
It starts way back. We're talking Proto-Indo-European. There's this root written as were.
Were, okay. Sounds ancient.
It is. And the basic meaning is surprisingly simple. Turn or bend.
Turn or bend. Huh. That feels pretty fundamental.
It really is. And what's interesting, too, is how the sounds themselves, like the V and R sounds, often pop up in languages in words related to movement or changing direction.
I think I've noticed that. So how do we get from this basic turn idea to adversary?
Well, you can break adversary down. You've got the prefix ad.
Right. Ad usually means towards or to.
Precisely. And then you have versary, which is directly related to that where root to turning.
Ah, okay. So ad plus versary is literally towards turning.
You got it. Towards turning. Think about that image. Someone turning towards you, but in opposition.
Oh, I see. Turned against you. An opponent.
Exactly. That's the core visual, someone oriented against you. And the really cool part is that this little where root, this turn idea, it didn't just stop there.
It branched out.
Massively. It's like a source feeding a whole river system of English words. They all share this hidden connection to turning.
Okay, this is where it gets interesting. Looking through the sources, you start seeing these connections, like adverse.
Yeah, there's that ad, again, towards, and verse, turning. So adverse is literally turned against.
Which is exactly what it means. Unfavorable, hostile, like something's actively facing you in a bad way.
It fits perfectly, doesn't it? The language itself paints the picture.
It really does. Okay, what about anniversary? That seems different.
Does it? Think about it. Annus is Latin for year.
Okay.
And versary, the turning part. It's the turning of the year.
Oh, the year completing its turn, its cycle, a yearly return.
Exactly. See, the connection's there.
That's actually pretty neat. All right, avert.
Okay, so A often means away from.
Right.
Combine that with vert, another form related to turning, and avert is literally to turn away from.
Like averting your eyes. You turn them away. Makes sense.
Okay, the pattern's emerging, right? It's right, controversy.
Contro means against.
Yep, and versy, turning. So a turning against, a dispute.
Where sides are turned against each other, arguing.
Precisely. The ideas are clashing, turn against one another. Now think about converge.
Con means together or with.
Right, and verge, related to turning or bending towards, so turning together.
Like lines converging on a point. They turn towards each other to meet.
Perfect. And the opposite.
Diverge. De means apart.
So
turning apart, branching off, like a path splitting.
You're nailing it. Now, converse is interesting. It has two meanings.
Yeah, talking with someone and also the opposite of something. How does turn fit both?
Well, the conversation part, con is with. You're turning ideas back and forth with someone.
Okay, that works. What about the converse, meaning the opposite?
Think of it as the other turn, a complete turnabout, a flip to the reverse side.
Huh. Okay, I kind of see that. Total change of direction.
Exactly. And then there's divert, similar to diverge using vert, turning something aside.
Like diverting traffic or diverting someone's attention. You turn it elsewhere.
Spot on. This is great. What about personality types? Extrovert, introvert.
Well, wait. Vert, turning. Extro is outward. Intro is inward.
So an extrovert is someone whose interest
turns outward. And an introvert's turns inward. That's actually built into the word.
It is. An invert.
In plus vert. Turn inward or turn upside down.
Simple as that. Pervert. Per can mean thoroughly or sometimes through in a negative way.
So like thoroughly turned in a wrong direction. Distorted.
That's the idea. A distortion. A turning away from the norm. And revert.
Easy one. Re means back. Turn back.
Perfect. Transverse.
Trans means across. So turning across something. Oriented across.
Yes, but now, the big one. Universe. How does turn fit with everything?
Yeah, that seems like a stretch. Uni means one.
Think poetically for a second. Everything turning as one. The entire cosmos, all its cycles, turning together as a single unified system.
Wow. Okay, that's actually quite profound. Everything turning as one.
There's a beautiful image rooted in that simple whir.
Amazing. What about just verge, like on the verge of something?
Think of it as the edge, yes, but it's the point towards which something is turning or moving. You're right at the turning point.
Ah, okay. And versatile.
Able to turn easily, right? Turn to different tasks or uses.
Makes sense. The quality of being able to turn. And verse in poetry.
Seen as a unit of language, like a line that turns to the next, a turning unit.
Okay. And version.
Just a turning, a variation, one turn or take on something.
Versus, that seems obvious now, turned against, directly related to adversary.
Absolutely. And vertex.
The highest point, like the peak where something turns downwards.
The turning point, exactly. And finally, vertigo.
Oh, that feeling like the room is spinning, turning around you.
The physical feeling of turning directly linked back to that ancient root. It's literally the meaning playing out in your body.
That is absolutely incredible, how this one simple idea, turn, just explodes outwards into all these different concepts.
It really shows the power of etymology, doesn't it?
Right.
Recognizing that shared root, were, connects all these seemingly random words.
So the key takeaway here is definitely understanding that core turn or bend idea from were and seeing how vert, verse pop up everywhere.
Exactly. And when you see those parts, you can often piece together the meaning. It stops being just memorization.
It becomes more like understanding a system, a network.
Right. Gives you a map for the vocabulary, makes it less intimidating, and frankly more logical. Learning becomes more intuitive.
So wrapping this up then, that word adversary, the opponent, it literally means turned towards, in opposition, coming from that ancient root were, meaning turn.
And that same idea, that concept of turning, is the hidden thread connecting so many words from, your anniversary marking the year's turn, all the way to the universe, everything turning as one.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How fundamental is that idea of turning, of changing direction to how we describe the world? From arguments to celebrations to the cosmos itself.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought for you listening. What other words do you use every day? Could they have similar hidden histories, surprising connections waiting just beneath the surface?
Maybe try picking a word that interests you and doing a little digging yourself. See what turns up.